Hi, it's Andrew. I just want to add a little bit more to what I said in the last video. So, um, think of it like this. So, you have a doctor, a GP, you have a psychiatrist. If you're being treated for mental health problems, so you got to understand where these people are coming from, right? They're trying to help people out with their health problems. So, with the general practitioner, he's able to prescribe drugs, pharmaceuticals to treat different illnesses, right? True. Okay. So it's the same with the. So he's trying to help people out. And if he can't help them out, he might delegate them to a psychiatrist or a specialist for some other problem at the main hospital, right? And normally they've got medical tools. And apart from pharmaceuticals, other kinds of treatments and expertise and surgeons and all kinds of stuff, right? But they rely heavily on pharmaceutical medications, right? So that's how they help people, and sometimes you have to have follow up appointments quite a lot every month or two. They'll see you again and see how you're doing and see, And the thing is, those drugs probably do help. They do. That's why they use them, and they're justifiable because they do make people feel better to cope with their mental problems, right? And the doctors are very used to that's how they do it, right? They see how people are and they maybe adjust the medication continually with different people, how they are, whether they're not feeling well or struggling with their mental problems and challenges, right? So that's where it's at, isn't it? That's the status quo. So so let's say you've got friends or somebody needs help, psychiatric help, because they're struggling mentally. What else can you do to help that person if you didn't have the tools of pharmaceuticals and drugs? And this is where it really comes in. Well, we know that just simple lifestyle things like walking, exercising for an hour a day is going to help you a lot. And if you're eating vegetables and fruit, that's going to help you a lot. And then, well, what else is going to help you a lot? But those things help psychiatrically too, but there's other mental things that are going to help, like communicating with friends and family, being kind to people, just getting on with people is going to help. Living in peace with people, um, learning different skills, as Richard Grove put it, to meet and greet the world, to meet the challenges that face you in life. If you have the tools to meet and greet life and learn about what reality is really about, that's going to help your mental health. So that's what the old stuff called philosophy was about, asking about these big questions and problems in life, and being able to think about it, right, and understand things better. And so that's where the liberal arts came in, and I found those very useful, but they might not be the answer for everyone. I mean, I found that that was me, that suited me to start reading books and listening to podcasts and watching internet lectures. I found that suited me, but for everyone else is different, right? Because some people can start getting a good job and start earning money and perhaps have their own home. Uh, some people with mental illnesses are quite capable of succeeding that way, especially if they're in their 30s and stuff. And you know, I'm in my I'm getting on to my late 40s, and that sort of life was never for me. My own father was quite good at working, like a lot of people, a lot of families are, and they're able to build their lives, have uh, and own some real property and stuff. Well, I wasn't like that. I was a bit more, I need to grow and develop in my own way. And you might be suited for different things, and you might need to grow and develop in your own way. And I've just found this one very useful for me. Now, there might be a lot of people out there that want to get into this as well. the liberal arts, and another path to go in, which I think is important, is about, in that last video I was declaring my faith. So some of the things I wanted, right? I was putting my faith in what I've hoped for, making it come true. Because faith is sort of like you've got to believe in something that there's no evidence for it being. It's like something in the future, right? You want to get from, you're here and you're wanting to get in the future somewhere out there, and it hasn't happened yet. And you do need that faith that that's your dream, that you do want to get well, that you do want to make a full recovery, and that faith is believing in that dream, and then, finding a reasonable way to go about it after that. So I think faith is really important, and we don't want double-mindedness here. And this is where that relationship with the doctors, they're used to thinking in to helping people with the pills and medication, whereas I'm saying that actually you need to think past that. What else can help you? Your state of mind. Now, it might be that the natural way to go is actually better. It is actually better. But the drugs also work. Otherwise they wouldn't have made them and used them. And so the question really is this way of going, of learning, being re-educated or re-educating yourself down this special kind of direction? Well, is that the best way is that what's best for you? And I think it is, but got to look into it yourself. And using these other natural ways, exercise and just good food, and learning skills, just to take care of the nervous system naturally in that way, to be yourself and really be yourself, and then to have tools to meet and greet this world, and why don't the psychiatrists use that more? Well, it's because they've been doing this for a long time, using the way they do it with the drugs. That's why they do it that way. The drugs work to some extent, and they've been doing that for a long time. That's why they do that. But what's wrong with this other way of thinking? Nothing. It does work. It's worked for me. So, and I'm not the smartest person. I've got lots of friends. Some of you, my friends, are smarter than me at a lot of things. I can't do what you guys do. So it's not that that's made the difference for me. These things just work, don't they? You go for a walk, you feel better. You eat vegetables and meat, fruit, you feel better. You get into something you enjoy doing. I got into enjoying these books, this Great Books of the Western World. It's a very ideal way to go. It is the ultimate way to get to go, to learn, to actually it is the best thing for you, some of this stuff. So, but then again, some people are more inclined to have other hobbies and interests and other jobs and what they want to do. So it's not for everyone. That's why I say it's got to be natural self-development, something you're into, and really believe that there's ways of continually treating yourself through life that don't involve the drugs and the pharmaceuticals, that you really can make yourself better in your own ways, natural therapeutic ways that people have found relief for thousands of years. And I know it's not easy, but hey, I'm just I really want it known that yes, you can get off psychiatric drugs, and you can, if you want to, choose another path to treating yourself through life. And and faith is I think faith is faith in God, faith in your future. I think faith actually is a human ability to have faith. In Hebrews chapter 11, it talks about all the different people in history that had faith. So I think faith is a real human ability, to have faith in yourself, to have faith in the dreams that you have, and faith in God with that. And I really think that's part of being human, abilities and truth and stuff. It's valid. It's not a. It's. I don't think God's a metaphor. I think God is true. He's real. Jesus was a real person, and he really is the real. Uh, Came into this world to save us from God, and you know, faith, I think, is an important human ability, and the last 200 or 300 years they focus more on reason and science. But I think believing in things in your mind, the substance of things you hope for in the future that hasn't happened yet, acting on faith, that is a legitimate human, should be part of your life. And we're just a little bit heavily balanced on the reason side, maybe, in medicine and even the church. I mean, they've just like, they're more inclined to listen to reason and government and science now. Otherwise, they would be acting on their faith more in this COVID-19 lockdown period. They would have obeyed God more than science and government, but they didn't. So the faith is a little bit. I could be wrong. Okay, I could be thinking wrong there, but I do think that our faith is weak. We have little faith, and we need. Jesus always said, you know, where is your faith? Your faith is so small. You just, where is your faith? And back in the early church, people would stand out and obey God and obey their faith, and they would get eaten by lions. I mean, their faith was so strong that they would disobey the government of the time, and they wouldn't listen to them. They would act on their faith in Jesus, and if they got persecuted and got crucified, eaten by lions, they would. And we're not at that. We don't have that faith anymore like that in the church. I think we're more inclined to obey the government and listen to reason and science more. And so we've lost some of the real faith, the good faith. So I didn't mean to. I got diverted a little bit there, but I wanted to just try to explain that. If you want to get better, you can do it. If you want to stay well and treat yourself, you can do it through non-drug methods. I'm not saying the drugs don't work. The drugs do work. Drugs work. That's why people go and buy marijuana, because they're using it as a medicine, a therapy to smoke dope. Probably why people drink a lot of alcohol. There's a lot of people that drink and go to the bottle store, and some people say that they're doing it to preserve their sanity through this COVID-19 lockdown that we've had. That they're drinking so much alcohol to keep their sanity. So, essentially, the alcohol industry and the cannabis dealing is really doing the same thing that the psychiatrists and the doctors do when they're looking to more sophisticated drugs and pharmaceuticals to help people out. But you can, you can sometimes handle a little bit of pain. You don't have to always perhaps take a headache tablet when you've got a headache. You don't always have to look to these things that take away your symptoms, and there is healthy ways of relaxing, a hot bath, trying to be careful what you eat and drink at times, and different ways of really helping yourself to feel better and get by. And I'm not sure the school system did a good job at equipping us for life. And I think the liberal arts and the trivium method is a better tool to learn and to help you navigate and meet and greet life's challenges, and keep better mental health that way too. And that's something I've only learned in the last several years. And so, you want to the question, why are we doing it? Why are we doing psychiatric care, why are we doing it that way? Why don't we have a go at rehabilitating and re-educating ourselves in that way? And why don't we just have a little bit more faith and to give us the options of having dreams and goals and natural self-development really happen for people, and trust God, even if it means kind of letting go a little bit of the cares of this world. And Jesus has got pretty good teachings for all, not to worry about tomorrow. And we don't. We sometimes read what Jesus said and we don't obey him, and then we come back to it and think, why didn't I just obey Jesus and not worry about tomorrow and not worry about the cares of this life? And if people did that, they wouldn't need so many anti-anxiety medications, would they? Because they're processing and dealing with it in a better way. So faith is really the Christian faith is really important, because it's got good ways of thinking that help your mind stay well, and the exercise and good food everybody knows. So, how would you help somebody if they came to you and they were psychotic, or they just were out of their mind? It would be quite difficult for you to do it, but you could sit down and listen to them and talk to them for 2 hours, 3 hours, but it would really, really tire you out, and you'd be fatigued and upset at what somebody who was unwell had to say. But giving them conversation and wisdom, is a better way to do it. And but like I say, drugs work, and that's why mental health professionals really believe in medication, because they work. They do work, but they don't have to. It's not the only way. There are natural self-development ways that we can use. There are ways to improve your thinking through re-education, and learning to read and learning to learn and stuff, and question things. There's other ways. I would say they are better, in my own opinion, but the normal psychiatry help does help. All right, but I'm just putting it out there. Thanks for listening. Have a good enjoy good. That's what life's about, isn't it? Being happy. And so, bless you.